Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again and welcome to episode number 17 of the Chelsea career mode here on FIFA 15. We start with a very tough game at home against Manchester City in the Premier League. We've beaten them previously in the Cup but lost away from home in the League, but can go above them if we win here. Here's your team news to start off.
Here's the Chelsea lineup. Thibaut Courtois starts in goal. Felipe Luis starts with Azpilicueta as the fullbacks. Oscar plays with Fabregas in midfield. In attack, Diego Costa starts. He was man of the match in the last game. Manchester City's lineup today. Wilfredo Caballero plays in goal. Vincent Kompany starts alongside Eliakim Mangala in the heart of defence. Sami Nasri starts with Jesus Navas on the flanks. Stevan Jovetic is the main striker today.
So a very, very strong Manchester City side is coming all the way down to London here for this game, although we have beaten them already in the league, as we've said, so I wasn't as terrified of them this time around as I was in the opening game when we lost 1-0 at the Etihad, and Willian gets us off to a great start. It's a beautiful finesse finish with his left foot. The goalkeeper perhaps caught out by the fact that he took it early. He's renowned, Willian, for being able to shift his weight and get onto the ball and move it about rapidly, super quick. Wonderful electric feet, and you'll see from the replay he just turns inside and then immediately hits it. The turn there and then the strike comes so quickly. Perhaps that's what caught Caballero out in goal, but he wasn't able to get anywhere near it, so we went 1-0 up. But there were few chances in the first half. As you can see, this is only the second highlight and we're into first half stoppage time. Fortunately though, Courtois was on hand to make a decent save despite not being called upon earlier on in the game, so nice to see his concentration levels are as high as they should be. The second half was very much in Manchester City's favour. Jovetic gets around me really well there, and again Courtois down well to it, and again fortunately for me palms it safe to a defensive player as opposed to a Manchester City striker. But Yaya Touré's in the box here, great strength to hold off Felipe Luis. Modric with a good turn, Nasri with a good snapshot, but again Courtois is down well. Electric reactions from the goalkeeper to get down and keep it out. So made a couple of changes. Ross Barkley on for Oscar to keep a physical presence in the middle, considering Matic was coming off for Ramirez, to add a little bit of extra pace in there, because I found they were moving the ball about really quickly and I wasn't quite able to keep up. You can see how fast they're moving it about here, but Modric is going to break into the box. I missed the tackle with Gary Cahill. That's the crucial mistake there that lets Luka Modric in, and the Croatian brings them back level in the 69th minute. Really well taken shot as he gets away from the defender and then fires it into the roof of the net. Unfortunately, Courtois has absolutely no chance, but we said it was definitely a Manchester City heavy second half, and again calling on Courtois. Laporte definitely congratulating his goalkeeper, recognising the effort that he's been putting in so far to keep us on level terms, but a mistake again to give away the possession. Modric finds Aguero. I can't get across quick enough to get the slide tackle in to block the man, and Sergio Aguero puts the ball into the back of the net in the 88th minute, and City have come from 1-0 down to lead 2-1 away from home. But we're into stoppage time. We scored a late goal through Ross Barkley in yesterday's episode. Ramirez with a lovely ball around the corner to Aspi. Willian with the shot, it's deflected and it almost trickles into the bottom corner, but the Argentinian goalkeeper gets down well to push it around the post, and unfortunately we find ourselves losing the game. It's a rather crucial defeat in the push for the league title. That puts City 4 points ahead of us now, and Spurs are already 6 points ahead of us, regardless of what they did in that particular round of fixtures. So it's definitely going to be tough to push for the top of the table, but we'll do everything we can to do so. We're also concentrating on the Champions League as well. A round of 16 game against Real Madrid, no less. Here's your team news.
Chelsea make one change. Thibaut Courtois starts in goal. Ricardo Rodriguez starts with Azpilicueta as the fullbacks. Andre Schürrle starts with Lucas on the flanks. In attack, Diego Costa starts. He's been in tremendous form recently. This is the Real Madrid lineup. Casillas starts in goal. Pepe starts with Sergio Ramos as the centre-backs. Cristiano Ronaldo starts. He was man of the match in his last game. Wayne Rooney is the lone striker today.
Wayne Rooney leading the line for Real Madrid, using an Englishman to front their attacking forces in this one. All all three of their front three have experience in the English leagues. Of course, Gareth Bale from Tottenham, Ronaldo from Manchester United, as is Rooney. So they know exactly what to expect from us defensively when it comes to them pushing forward. And they definitely did push forward for the majority of this game. We had real trouble the second half of the previous game against Manchester City, and the first half in this one was pretty similar. I had to keep a lot of men back just to make sure that I could fill up those passing avenues, because as you can see, they were just playing it around me. They were so good in maintaining possession and pinging the ball about tiki-taka style to ensure we couldn't get on the ball. And when we did get on the ball, we had to make the most of our breakaways. Lucas here cuts in well, stands the ball up to Carvalho at the back post, and it's only a top save down low by veteran goalkeeper Iker Casillas that stops us from catching him on the counter-attack and taking a 1-0 lead very much against the run of play. But we stepped things up in the second half. We kind of grew into the match as things went on. So you can see pushing forward here at the start of the half, and Ross Barkley draws another good save out of Casillas, perhaps a little bit less dramatic a save than the shot actually required, because it was a very good strike, struck well, and the goalkeeper just, I guess his positioning was spot on, as it was here as well. Just bats it away, Iker Casillas, from the shot from Diego Costa. But as I said, we're growing into the game, having more chances, but we needed to be wary of them coming back at us, and we definitely were trying our best to be. Rooney with a lovely lofted effort, headed down well by Bale, I think it was, and then Ramos, of all players, lunging in on the edge of the 6-yard box, and luckily for me, he put it wide, but that really could have given them what they needed to go in towards the second leg with an away goal. But as you can see, ball drops eventually to Ramirez here on the edge of the box. He's just going to give it a whack, because we're right at the end of the end of the second half, rather, hoping it would dip. Unfortunately it didn't, so we take a 0-0 draw from the first game of the two legs against Real Madrid, which actually isn't that bad. It would have been a lot worse had we lost that game. So we've got it all to do in the next game, in the second leg. It's shit or bust, really. We have to win going to the Bernabeu, or at least get a score draw. All we've got to do is score, really, and I'll be pretty confident of us getting through to the next round, but it is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Another quote-unquote easier game, though, to end the episode in the FA Cup against Crystal Palace, again at home. 3 home games. We've had a defeat, a draw. Maybe now we can round out with a victory, hoping to do so against Crystal Palace and push further into the FA Cup. As you can see, it's around a 16 tie as well. A lot of big sides still in there, but to start off with, here is your team news.
Thibaut Courtois starts in goal. Gary Cahill starts with Kurt Zouma in central defence. Oscar plays with Fabregas in midfield. Loic Remy is the main striker today. Here's the Crystal Palace team.
So we had a shock striker in the previous game with Wayne Rooney up top for Real Madrid, and weirdly Crystal Palace have Obafemi Martins up top for them in this one, with Chamakh playing a wider role. Actually, Chamakh got in behind there, and we were lucky that A, Courtois was able to get down to it, because nobody tracked his run, and B, that he was offside. Maybe that's why nobody tracked his run. But Willian's having his run tracked here by Joel Ward, but he gets away from him with good pace, but the shot is really weak. Eventually it loops up, and that looks as if it's going to creep across the line, and the defender gets up to head it clear. We had a goal line decision system replay a little bit later on in the game, so I've added that in, and as you can see, definitely no goal. Martin Kelly, in fact, is the defender on loan, you would presume, from Liverpool, maybe even a permanent move, I'm not entirely too sure, but he definitely keeps it out. It wasn't over the line. We're going to have a corner here, as you can see, 27th minute. Hazard's going to whip it into the box. Up goes Ross Barkley, I think it was, and it was a good header away. It may not have been Barkley, I'm just guessing. But it was a good save by the goalkeeper. Joe Ledley playing the ball out to Balassi here, who actually is a decent player in real life. He really impresses me every single game. Doesn't score as many goals as he perhaps should do, and he has scored 1 this season, which I think is his first. But Chamakh there pulled a muscle when he had the shot, which is something I've not seen before in FIFA 15. I'm not sure whether it's a new addition this year, or maybe I've just not ever seen it before, paid attention to it in career mode previously. But Chamakh is involved again here, clearly not injured enough to need taking off, and Courtois again has to make a good save for us. Of course, we've sold on Petr Cech. It couldn't have been Ross Barkley for the earlier header, because he's coming onto the pitch now, coming on with Junior Malanda to come into that holding role. The Belgian has done very well for us, actually, and like I said in yesterday's episode, I'm preferring Malanda over William Carvalho at the minute, and with Marco van Ginkel coming back in the summer, I may move William Carvalho on again and actually concentrate my efforts on the young Winkel and Melander, but we have to stop talking about central holding midfielders, because our central attacking midfielder Ross Barkley has come off the bench and scored a worldie. I did the step over there, that Ronaldo chop there, I didn't do that. He did that all on his own. All I did was tell him to turn inside, and he did that instinctively. I'm supremely impressed with the way that Ross Barkley has played since we brought him in. I could not be happier with how he settled into the team and had an impact. That's his 3rd goal for the club right now, and I think that's only his 4th or 5th game. He's just been so good. Delighted with the way he's come into the side. He really has been at the Frank Lampard replacement that we were after, and we came close to a second one there with a good save from Julian Speroni down low after Hazard, I think it was, cut inside. Unfortunately, Willian can't quite get it back into the box. Joe Ledley clears it, and there goes the final whistle. So we do end with a victory. We get a defeat in the first, a draw in the second, and a win in the third. 3 home games and all 3 varying types of results. So a win in the FA Cup, a draw in the Champions League, and a defeat in the league proper, unfortunately. So as you can see, we still sit 3rd, level on points with Man United in 4th, but there's a big gap down to 5th, and there's also a sizable gap up to the top of the table, though City now have played 2 games more than anyone else, and we still sit 6 points behind Spurs. So despite losing to City, Spurs must have lost their game that they played as well. So we still are in with a shout of a league title win this year. We're definitely not throwing anything away. There's still 13 games to go. But that's going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Leave the video a like if you enjoyed. As always, if we could hit 300, that would be absolutely epic. Feel free to check your sub boxes tonight for the Atletico Madrid career mode. There was a My Player episode uploaded last night, as well as, of course, one of these Chelsea career mode episodes. Also, check the description for a schedule if you don't know what and when I upload. That would let you know exactly when my videos go up from which particular series. That's also on the About tab of the channel page as well. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and follow me on Twitter as well, at Chesnoid Gaming. There's links to my Facebook, my Twitter, and to my Instagram in the description down below. But that's going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.